Ben, dude, welcome.
Thank you.
Usually
Thanks for
there's
having me.
two of us. Usually there's two of us, but Nath has just had his first child, so he's on dad leave.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. So he's in the world of having to change shitty nappies, and
Yeah, I've been
yeah,
there, man. It's a whole new world.
dude, it's rough.
Do
It's like you
you
forget.
have kids?
Yeah, man, I got two, but like one's 9 and one's just about to turn 13. So it's a bit of a
Yeah.
different world now. They're kind of
Yes.
self-sustaining.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I have a 13-year-old too, but I also have a 7 and 8-year-old. So it's
Shit.
chaos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh let's before we dive into the music side of things, how do you find it at this age with kids? Obviously being back out on the road touring and things like that, because you've taken a little bit of time off.
Yeah. It's
Is it
fascinating. It is fascinating because um like they come to shows with me and do stuff and like they feel it's very normal. They're used to being on side stage and seeing chaos and stage diving and like craziness and I was just out with Suicidal Tendencies on the Metallica tour and we're
yeah, of
playing these
course.
like massive football arenas and like my kids are coming and running around the stadium in the before it opens, like running up and down the seats and running all the place and like where their favorite sports teams play and stuff and I just feel like, wow, I hope they realize how cool this is.
How cool this is, or how cool that is.
Well, how cool it is for them at least to do that, and see that. I would love that when I was a kid. But mostly I
Oh,
just
dude,
hope it
same.
inspires them to like get the bug to want to like do play.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, man. Like, I'm the same because we get some really really cool opportunities doing this sort of stuff, and I've had the
Yeah.
same, man. Like kiddos hanging out backstage with bands and going to catering with bands, and
Yeah.
all access passes, and I'm like, you guys do know that this ain't normal,
Right.
and Dad's not
Right.
even in the bands, like. So I hope that you know that this is cool, and my
This is cool,
son's
right?
it is, dude. It's so cool to get to see them enjoy that, and because I feel like I don't know how old you are, but I'm 43. So I feel like there's not very many avenues for kids to find anything cool and immersive outside of what they're shown in the media.
Yes.
And this world is
No,
so
I
fucking rad.
yeah, that's the truth. Like getting them out of the phone and out of like the YouTube and just in real. Like there's nothing more present and real than being at a hardcore punk show. There's nothing. There's nothing like it. And yeah, like it's cool. I want my son to see it like, yeah, Juice World is cool or whatever, but like watch this. Like
See, the thing is, like,
you
they've
know.
got both the best and worst example in you because number one, like, it's the best because you're such a performative dude. Like, you've always had such intense stage presence. You're obviously freakishly talented, not to blow smoke, but also it's the worst because they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to find my own shit to go listen to and go check out some live bands and be like, why are these fuckers standing still on stage? Where's the backflips? Like, where's the guitar
Yeah,
spins?
yeah,
Where's the fire spitting? Where's all that shit? Where's the
right.
blood?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, if anything, I hope that even into our elder years, like, I mean, I'm actually going to be, uh, right, like the day I leave for Australia, I turn 50. And, so like I'm going to be hitting Australia as a 50-year-old man, like half a hundred,
Sure.
so it's really, that's a big one for me. And I'm just going to be away from my family, just going to start playing. So starting like that, those shows at that turning point is a big deal for me. And, but if anything, if my kids or my lady or whatever can who didn't grow up in the scene and don't listen to this music can come on stage and watch us, and I can ruin other bands for them, then I did my job.
Oh yeah.
If they can go stand side stage of some other metal band and be like, this is boring, like which they have, and I'm like, well, then you know what this is about. We don't fuck around, like.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's the other thing as well. Like, number one, you don't fucking look 50, like, at all. So well done,
Well,
sir.
you should see my MRIs.
Yeah, dude, I've been to plenty of Dillinger Escape Plan shows. All right, you've only got yourself to blame.
I know. I know.
But man, it's made for some incredible fucking shows. Like that's for sure. How do you go at this age? Uh, I suppose I'll say keeping up appearances because
Yeah.
when you came out of the blocks the way you guys did and have a legacy for being that sort of band, how do you sort of keep up with that? Like what preparation do you have? Obviously, I know you've had some injuries and things like that in the
Hmm.
past, and some neck shit that you had to sort out.
Hmm.
How does that go for you now? Because we our bodies do kind of let us down as we get a bit
Yeah.
older.
Yeah. It's I've really just never like let it like accepted it. I just keep going and going. Recently I'm getting some nerve issues with my fingers, which is the first time I've really had something happen that's like not just like pain or but it's actually like potentially stopping me from
Yeah.
playing, and that's freaking me out. So like before this last show we played, I had about 15, steroid shots shot into my back and like
Fuck.
and then to get me going, get through this,
Is that
so
something
there's
that
things like that.
is that all stemming from like spinal issues?
Um, there's not sure, man. The nerve tests and all these things are kind of weird. He's like, your shit doesn't make any sense, and I'm like, well,
Fuck.
it's probably all twisted and mangled and but
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Don't
it's
watch
from
any
the
of my
neck.
YouTube performances. Like,
Yeah. I honestly had to just go to the doctor. I can't just here. And I just showed him. And I'm like, because like I just wanted to see what I do and the strap and where it goes and like the amount of abuse I'm getting so he can get a little more. And he's like, yeah, that probably what's doing it. That's like I'm like, it's been like 30 years of this. And he's like, okay, this makes sense. So yeah, I mean, eventually, like you got a heavy guitar around your neck, you got a strap, you're like head banging. People much younger than me have had many surgeries in order to keep
yeah.
doing this. So I just feel blessed that I can keep going, and I just don't really like think about it. I don't think about my age. I don't think about anything. I just can't help it. There's no other way for me to do it. Yeah, I don't know how to go up there and not do that.
Yeah. It's just something that when you're in that moment and you're locked in, it's just
Yeah,
this is what I do, this is who I am. I
yeah,
think it's a really interesting thing as well when we're talking in terms of like doctors when they see something like that in a world that they've more than likely, and even if they know, oh yeah, I know rock music,
sure,
I listen to the Foo Fighters,
right,
but
right.
this is a completely different world, and
Yeah,
they're used to seeing bricklayers or concreters or
right,
builders or sports people come in with injuries,
totally,
and they can
totally,
kind of sort of have an idea of what to narrow in on.
right.
But that must be a nice little mind tickler
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
really hard to explain. It's hard to. What do you do? I'm a musician. I can't, whatever. Just fix me, man. Just fix me. Don't worry about it. All right. Just fix.
Oh man! So let's talk about the trip to Australia. I'm very excited to have you back out here playing what I'm just going to come out and say potentially one of the most important albums in heavy music history. I don't know if you
Wow.
guys see it that way, but in terms of you know uh, extreme progressive metal and hardcore, it really was a game changer. You guys really were a game changer. Do you guys do you
Thank
feel
you.
much of
I
that?
mean, that's pretty cool. In some ways, I'm starting to just accept it and try to appreciate it and not be so self-deprecating about it. But like, um, it is interesting to think back to like learn these songs again, play these songs, and then think about like how young I was when I wrote that stuff. Like it's
Yeah,
really, I have to say, like, the music, the intention was never to be marketable or appeal to anyone. We gave up and we were making an album that nobody was gonna like. We weren't writing it for anybody. There was no market. There was no group of people who would ever like that, or hear it. But we did. We were like, this is the album we want. This is the album we want on our shelf that we don't see and we don't hear. This is what it's taking to keep us stimulated and present in a time when we're just really bored with what's going on. We were bored with the punk and hardcore scene, just focusing on politics and you know, just some kind of cause instead of what music they're playing. We were sick of the mainstream music that was considered heavy, but was just, really pop music with distortion. At the time, it was new metal, like all over the place, and we were just like, this is just formula. And we just were making something that I kind of like was going to have the impact that maybe the old aggressive punk and metal bands had on people when no one had heard that stuff before.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then the only way to do that was to make it on like calculating. And when I do listen to and I do like learn and play the stuff, thinking about like a 21-year-old making that album with no Pro Tools, no drum kit from hell, no cutting and pasting, just to tape in like 2 weeks. It's really hard to think of like a kid that age doing that these days.
Mm.
Um, so it does make me proud when I think about stuff like that.
When you're sort of learning these songs, and especially when you mention things like recording to tape, man, that is something that the most musicians that are still around doing this today, like unless they're yourselves or much older, would have no idea what that's like.
Yeah.
I was watching a video the other day actually with Justin Hawkins from The Darkness, saying that
Mm,
how much it's changed for them, that it's almost even impossible to get your hands on tape now.
yeah.
Um, it's crazy. And
Yeah. 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 I mean,
does it
for one
kind of,
thing, you don't look at a screen.
well, yeah, yeah,
Like you really just, there's
it's
no
not showing you a
screen.
grid. Like,
No, he's pressing a button on a tape machine. Okay, go. And you're playing. And you're not looking at the wave and playing. You're feeling it. You're just feeling it. That's
yeah,
it. And truthfully, I think the big difference is that if you put those tracks onto a screen and you looked at those waveforms, they probably look sloppy or not in time. But you don't know. They just feel right. So I think the fact that you can't fix it, that you're not deciding whether it's right or wrong by what it looks like, you're
yeah,
deciding whether it's right or not by what it sounds like,
and what it feels
is
like, yeah,
that
for sure.
that creates a whole different, that's just a different, it's coming from a different place. There's no grid, there's no click track. If you put calculating into like a
Pro
software
Tools or
that'll
something,
like,
yeah,
yeah, that'll like just find the BPM. I think there's actually a website called Find the BPM or something, and you can look
cool.
up any song and it'll show you the BPM. And you put even like Meshuggah or any of those bands in, it's just like this, and you put calculating in, it's like this.
Yeah, the system just writes back,
You
no
know,
thanks.
there's no. It was just feeling. That was straight feeling. There was no
Do you think that
grid. There
that
was no.
do you think that that gave you, obviously having to be so number one meticulous with your playing, because you still had to somewhat have it in time. Everything had to still be in tune and sound, for use of a better term, even for you guys, palatable. Like it
Yeah.
had to sound or it had to work. Do you think that gave you the tools to sort of, now I'm assuming that Dillinger moving forward did start using things like Pro Tools and stuff like that, and did start,
Yeah, of
looking
course.
at
Like later
click
albums,
tracks.
we
And
did a traditional. Yeah, like.
do you think it gave you a better sort of skill set when it came to recording albums like that, where you already kind of had done like your 50,000 hours or
Yeah.
whatever, to be able to nail it and
Yeah,
not have to rely on technology so
right.
much?
In multiple ways. For one, um, we were really writing music that we couldn't really play very well. We weren't limiting our songwriting to stuff that we just could play well. We were
Yeah,
like, let's push the limits, and then we better get better, And we had to track that stuff, so it made us better players. You couldn't fake it, and like you said, there is some element of like something that crazy has to have a certain level of tightness to make any sense.
yeah,
Because if it's not, it just falls apart. It's just falling off the rails. Like there has to be a level of intent and in that stuff,
yeah,
and precision for it to actually make, like you said, even to us, have any kind of sense because it's so crazy and there's so much going on. And but also it really, I think you made a good point. I think about like making albums like that and doing music like that trained us in like when you do get the technology later on and you are making albums, like the goal is to make it sound real. The
yeah,
goal is to, okay, we're not using tape, but it should sound like you did it like that. You should sound like there's energy and emotion in it. It shouldn't sound gridded or just cut and pasted. Like, so I think like us not trying to mimic albums that were made like with the technology, like younger bands are like, oh, like our perception of good production is like pristine perfectness. You
yeah,
know what I mean? But our perception of good production was sounding analog and sounding real and sounding having a certain energy to it, like a live energy to it and a weight. So we were using technology to try to create those feelings, not trying to
Yeah.
recreate another band's album that was very clearly very technologically driven.
I think that was something that would have been extremely important for you guys in the sense that, like, live, you guys have always been such a visceral band, so intense. And obviously, later on in the career, you did find mainstream success with certain songs because, you guys could write the fuck out of a hook. Like, let's be real.
Oh, well,
But
thank you. That means a lot because that was like the next challenge for us, you know.
is that something that sort of came naturally, or is it something that you felt like you had to
Well,
do? Do
like
you
it
feel
got to the
like,
point where I just answered a question another interview. Like Dillinger songs became like that's what I know how to do that.
yeah,
Nobody can write Dillinger song like me. I can write Dillinger songs all day long. Like I know the vocabulary, I know how to make that Dillinger song. But what was became challenging was like how do we write songs with different kind of influences and different kind of like from coming from different places that still have Dillinger vocabulary. They still have, if you really want to listen, there's so much going on. There's layers. There's in parts that just sound unconventional in there,
yes,
and come and so that became a challenge. So someone asked me about a song called Mouth of Ghosts, uh, and that was a song I just wrote on a piano. Like I just sat on piano and wrote on a piano. And I'm like, now let's jam with the band and try to make it like just more Dillinger, but still, this is a song on a piano. This is where this is coming from. So, in order to continue to make albums and continue to expand our horizons and push ourselves creatively, that was kind of like harder to
yeah.
make songs that could kind of be at the farthest like distance, kind of a typical structured song, but at the closest micro level is like there's stuff going on that nobody would have ever done, you know?
Yeah, and obviously, look, I'm not in the band or close to the band, but it always seemed like you guys managed to kind of sidestep any criticism for taking those chances because you
Sure, we did
were,
not, but
yeah, well, yeah, maybe I just wasn't reading as many social media posts then, but yeah,
well, we probably lost those fans and they just were gone, you know, and that's something interesting about these shows with Dimitri. It's there are some people who never followed us after that because they're like they just want a crazy visceral scream band, you know, and
yeah.
so now they get to kind of go back to that time period in their lives when like that time was important to them.
And look, I'm sure you've been asked this a million times already, but how has that reconnection been in rediscovering this album yourself? Obviously, you said you had to relearn some of these songs.
Yeah.
How have they resonated with you, like lyrically and sonically? Has it been a little easier or more challenging than you thought?
Well, I mean, we've been playing some of these songs throughout the entirety of our career, and
Yeah,
so getting to hear like Dimitri sing his own lyrics is pretty cool. Seeing him perform the stuff that he wrote that meant something to him as a young guy, and um, he was always someone who was very bitter. Like if somebody bullied him, he never forgot. He never forgot. Like he was writing songs about that motherfucker in sixth grade till when he was a man. Like fuck, he hates that person. You know what I mean? Like
it guy's
he just
probably at these
never.
shows as well.
Yeah. So like honestly, like it doesn't matter how old he is. He's still pissed at that kid. You know what I mean? And like so like having him sing those songs or that girl that dumped him and like you know and like that he's pissed off he's still mad you know like at those things he doesn't forgive this kid you know like he holds a grudge so like it is special to see him sing these songs that he wrote after playing some of them for so many years
Yeah,
without him even though there were songs that like I wrote and played on hearing him sing them they're his lyrics it's pretty cool and then also doing it without having to. It's not our jobs, it's not our career. We all do other things.
yeah.
And getting together every now and again and being like, let's do one of these things. They seem to want it. Let's go. And like hanging out as adults and enjoying it. Like we're having a great time. We're
Yeah,
really having a great time.
how's that been with just the camaraderie and the mateship hanging
It's
out after?
insane. Like we're it's
That's something
amazing.
that most people never get a chance to do is go hang out with an old high
Yes,
school buddy.
totally. Totally. It's amazing, man. Uh like I hate to take away some of the magic but like on the last we did some European festivals and I brought like my whole family and like we played like Brutal Assault with all these crazy metal bands and black metal bands stuff like that and my kids were watching like dudes in corpse paint and stuff, and like, and we did a
That's not so
festival.
crazy
Like,
anymore.
I know I know it's not at all. We did a festival in Transylvania
Oh shit.
and got to go see like Dracula's castle, and like we played. And after the whole thing was done, Dimitri, our bass player, was like, "Hey man, I gotta say, like, it was kind of nice to see little kids' toothbrushes on the counter instead of beers for once." And I was like,
Yeah.
that was pretty heartwarming. That like he like really he's like, you are an amazing dad. He's like, you put everything into that, and it was cool to see that. And so like yeah, like we're to be able to still go out and have that same, like I still go out there and I'm like, I might die today. I don't give a fuck. Like we are bringing everything here and then being like, oh wait, I got a family. I you know. But like we still feel like the same Dillinger that we always did. But
Yeah.
it's nice to hear like an old friend like that who we've been through so much and so much crazy stuff together, touring the world. I mean, there's times we probably want to kill each. There's probably times we almost did kill each other, you know. And then to be all together and have him say something like that after all these, I mean, it meant so much to me.
That is a wild thing as well, like I've had it myself, a friend will just text me out of the blue and say, you've been a great inspiration for like watching you with your kids has been a great help for
That's
how I hang out with
amazing.
my, and you're just like, oh, fuck,
Right.
oh, I'm not crying,
Right.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But that's
It,
amazing, man, that you can do that because most of us parents weren't as we're probably, you know, trying to be better parents than our parents were. That's all we can do,
100%. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
is just be a little better, you know?
Yeah. That's
And
it.
so to hear that you're inspiring another dude to be a parent, man, that's huge.
Puts a lot in perspective, doesn't it, when you have kids?
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't take away from the music. Now, all right, which out of the album tracks that you're playing, right? Which out of this album has been the most challenging for you to revisit live, and which one do you think for you personally has had a new sense of life or appreciation breathed into it, like playing it this further on down in your career?
Um, Song called Clip the Apex. We hadn't really played that much since Dimitri left. And it feels really comfortable to play it actually.
Cool.
It does, you know, whereas probably with something like, ah, it's kind of weird, let's not even try it, let's not play it, you know. But it just feels right now.
Yeah.
Um, that's um, I think like the title track, Calculating Infinity, which is an instrumental, is a really cool moment for me. It feels really good to play. Um,
I suppose when you're
and we're
doing
better players now,
yeah, yeah, true. I
so it's
suppose when
different. Yeah.
like number one, it makes picking a set list heaps easier. And I suppose like when you're doing, an entire album, celebrating it, you kind of don't feel like with those instrumental tracks or with deeper cuts that you're taking away from another song that might have a better like crowd
That's
reception,
true.
whatever.
Yeah, like we don't really have a choice. We got to play it. We're playing
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And so how's that been for you, just sort of sticking to one album on this,
It's weird. It's weird because you know, we ended up doing so much music with Greg that I cherish so much, and we like tried, like you said, we went into so many different new melodic territories and tried so many different things. So the band we were when we ended had evolved so much,
yeah,
and now we're just kind of going back to our caveman days. Where like this is what we sound like, and this is it. And I remember opening for some pretty big bands before we even had any catalog to choose from. We opened up for System of a Down in Europe when they were like the biggest band in the world, and all we had out was Calculating. And so, I mean, we were playing these like 43% burnt sugar coated sour in front of like these mall metal kids who were just like looking for like areas, you know, it's like, and like they were just like this, looking at us like, I mean, sometimes the boos were so loud. I couldn't hear my music. Like I had to like
wow,
go up to my amp and be like, I can't hear. These motherfuckers are booing so yeah. And
that's
so
wild, man.
like it was you know, and later on we had so much more of a catalog to choose from. We could kind of cater it like let's do a little more stuff that would sound better in a bigger place, you
Yeah,
know, because we're playing some big room or like whatever. So um it does in some ways suck to not have be able to be like, oh, let's throw this one in or let's try this one. But it's also cool to truly feel like how we felt when we were just that, and that's it, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's fucking cool. I'm beyond pumped to see this shit played live, man. Like I said, I've seen. I don't think I don't think I missed a Dillinger Escape Plan show in Australia, like Sydney, where we're based. I don't think I missed a single Dillinger appearance since Miss Machine came out. You know, like it was just
Really? Oh
yeah,
man, that
dude.
means a lot to me.
Dude,
Thank you.
like I saw you
That's
tour
awesome.
with like some incredible bands on incredible lineups, and having that style that you guys were allowed for a lot of diversity on either side, whether you guys were the middle band or the headliner band or the opening band. I feel that it allowed promoters such a cool angle because there was so much diversity able to be placed around you guys because you
Mm.
guys are so fucking chaotic and sporadic
But
and
we did love playing with all kinds of different bands for sure. And I'll leave you one story. Years ago, that song Somebody I Used to Know came out, the Gautier song, and it was like the biggest fucking thing in the world. But nobody in the States had heard it yet, really. And I came over to Australia to play on, I guess, Miss Machine or something. I don't know. And someone sent me that song. And check this out, it's really cool. And then I heard Kimbra singing on it, and I was like, "Oh, let me see this." And I kind of Googled her and started listening to her music. And wow, she's really awesome. And when I got home, I was like kind of playing both of them for people. I was like, "Nobody, this is some stuff over there that's really cool. Like, it's kind of different pop type music and stuff." And then the song blew up in the States, and it got that song was just massive.
yeah.
And I see Kimbra tweet something about seeing Dillinger, and
Wow.
we ended up meeting and talking, and she was actually in the studio with John Legend in New York, and I live in New Jersey, and I was in New York, and we ended up let's getting together to talk about music. She left John Legend to come hang out, and we were listening to the new Meshuggah album together in the car, and
What the fuck?
she was like, check out this time signature. She was just like fully all in it. And it turns out that when she lived in New Zealand, there was one band that was like Dillinger inspired. Like her older boyfriend made her mixtapes with like the Mars Volta and Dillinger and all this stuff and Meshuggah, and she learned about all this stuff from like this older dude, and she was massively into it. And they would go see this band that was like Dillinger-y. It was like the band that they considered themselves like Dillinger influenced and stuff like that. That band moved to Melbourne and was trying to survive, and it didn't work, and they broke up. And then she became an artist and moved to Melbourne and needed a band, so she hired them to be her band. So this one-time Dillingerish band from New Zealand was now her backing band,
Fuck.
Kimber's backing band, in which she started touring the world. And later, I ended up managing her for many years. When I left Dillinger in 2017, um, she asked me to manage her, and for a few years, I was just managing Kimber. I wasn't really playing, and so that was all because of our trip to New Zealand and Australia, and like kind of listening to some local music, and then going home, and that person happening to be into Dillinger, which was totally bizarre because I'm like, she's like
Yeah.
some pop person, and it's just this world is crazy, the way you never know how these things work. So
Man, you never know how music's going to resonate with certain
yeah,
people. I mean, there's a lot of heavy guys out there that never listen to heavy music. There's a lot of pop people out there that just love to listen to, riffs like Ed Sheeran, like being a huge Cradle of Filth fan, and now
right.
they've done a fucking track together. In
That's
what world?
crazy.
Like
Right. And we're world.
Jesus. Anyway, man. All right. Well, I'll let you get on with it. So excited to see you guys back here. Thanks
Yeah,
for your
man.
time,
Thanks
man.
so much. Super nice to meet you, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, dude. Take care. Bye bye.
Good. Have a good one. Bye.